In this video, we'll take a look at the upcoming 3.0 release of the Wheels framework. This will be the first in a series of videos, therefore we'll concentrate on setting up the environment we need to more effectively work with Wheels projects. We'll create a couple of projects, one using the current version of the framework and another using the new 3.0 version of the framework, and ultimately look at the directory structure differences between the two versions. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is to install CommandBox on our development PC. CommandBox modernizes a CFML developer's workflow. It's a command line shell, a package manager, and a way to start a CFML engine in any directory without having to deal with the complexity of installing an application server and configuring the web root of your project. CommandBox is available for Mac, Windows, and Linux operating systems, and how you get it installed is dependent on which OS you are using. I'm on a Mac and will be using Homebrew to install CommandBox, but you could just as easily use Chocolatey or a native installer for Windows and the built-in package managers on most modern Linux distributions. In my Mac terminal, I'm going to use the brew install CommandBox command to install CommandBox on my Mac computer. Since I already have CommandBox installed, I won't hit Enter and will just continue to the next step. Now that we have CommandBox installed, we will jump into the CommandBox shell using the box command entered in the terminal window. The first time you launch CommandBox, it will have to download a bunch of packages and get everything set up, so it may take some time, but eventually you'll get the CommandBox shell prompt. Once we are at the CommandBox shell prompt, we are going to install the Wheels CLI commands into CommandBox. We do this by typing install Wheels-CLI and hit Enter. I've already got the Wheels CLI tools installed, so once again I won't hit Enter here, but we'll continue to the next step. We're now ready to create our two projects using the Wheels new command, which starts a wizard that will walk us through the process of creating a new Wheels project. The first thing we are asked is to give a name to our project. A directory will be created to match the name we give to hold the files of our project. I'm going to call the project Current. Next, we are asked which Wheels template to install, and we are going to select the first item on the list, which corresponds to the current version of the framework. I'll accept the defaults for the rest of the prompts, and on the last step, I'll say yes to create a Wheels project with the options I selected. The Wheels CLI will then begin to create the directory for our project and copy the necessary files into the directory to set up our project for us. When finished, we can issue a start command to start the CFML application server for this project. Once the congratulations page loads, we know that everything was installed and configured properly. This page shows the version of the framework that was installed and gives us jump-off points to the Hello World tutorial, the documentation for the project, or the GitHub discussions for the community. Now let's go back to the CommandBox shell and create another project. We'll issue the Wheels new command one more time, give the wizard a name for our new project, and select the bleeding edge template from the list that will create a 3.0 project for us. Once again, we'll accept all the defaults through the rest of the wizard and say yes on the last step to start the creation process. The CLI will then begin building a new project for us based on the 3.0 version of the framework. Once the installation is complete, we will issue the start command one more time to start a new CFML application server for our new project. Once again, the congratulations page is shown in our browser. We can see the new branding for the Wheels framework and that this time the project is based on version 3.0 of the framework. Now let's look at the directory hierarchy for the two projects we just created. We can see the current version of the project has a lot more directories and files in it. In the current version of the framework, everything is installed in the root of the project, increasing the potential attack surface of our project. However, in the 3.0 version of the project, we only have 4 directories at the root of the project folder, and only one of them is mapped to the web root of our application server, drastically reducing the attack surface for our project. Directories like the config, controllers, events, models, and views have all moved to the app directory. Directories like images, JavaScripts, and style sheets have all moved to the public directory. And lastly, the Wheels directory itself, which contains the core framework files, has moved to the vendor directory. The web root of the project is mapped to the public directory, which, as stated before, drastically reduces the potential attack surface of any project you build with Wheels 3.0. That concludes our initial view of Wheels 3.0. In this video, we saw how to install CommandBox and the Wheels CLI tools for CommandBox. We went through how to start a new Wheels project using the Wheels new wizard, and we looked at the high-level directory changes between the 2.5 and 3.0 versions of the Wheels framework. Check out the description below for links to the various tools mentioned in this video and how to connect with the Wheels community. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to receive notifications as we release more videos in this series. Until next time, happy coding!